Hello, you beautiful gods and goddesses. This is Tawanda Van, Celestial Earth Goddess, and today I want to talk about, are you making changes to improve yourself or just to fit in? Let's have this fucking talk. Okay, now, as we know, change is inevitable. That's what life is about. Nothing ever stays the same. We're always evolving and becoming whomever it is we're supposed to be. Hopefully for the greater good. Excuse me. Now, while you're making those changes, you're supposed to make sure whatever changes you make are conducive to your well-being. And if they are not, you need to reevaluate what the fuck you're doing. Now, some of y'all ain't doing that. Some of y'all just changing just to fit into somebody else's box of what's right. And as we know, right is subjective as well as objective. And everything ain't for everybody. Now, my question is, those of you that are making changes for someone else, who the fuck you trying to impress? And why do you believe they're worth impressing? That's what the fuck I want to know. And I think the rest of us want to know the same thing. At the end of the day, if you were happy with yourself before someone or someone's or something made you believe something was wrong with you, then you need to continue to do what you was doing and stop that bullshit, because it's too many people doing fuck shit to themselves. Like, some of y'all out there rearranging your fucking face, basically telling your parents that whatever they gave you wasn't good enough. Some of you out there putting inorganic shit in your body, whether you injecting it or stuffing it in there, and half of y'all asses are dying or getting diseases from these fucking chemicals. Some of y'all just doing all kind of crazy shit to yourselves, whether it be physically or emotionally. Might as well say spiritually and psychologically, because emotions tie into all of that. And you're actually becoming worse instead of better. So instead of self-improving, you're self-destructing, and that's never a good thing. The biggest problem is y'all trying to start on the outside doing superficial shit that don't matter any damn way, instead of looking inward and working on the inner you in order for that to project outward. That's what you need to be doing. And the major problem is, as I've said in plenty of videos, it's a lack of self-love. If you think self-love is not important in your daily life, I don't know what to tell you. Because that's what I see. I see a lot of people that, for whatever reason, don't think they're good enough because they just don't have a high sense of self. And you can't have a high sense of self if there's no love for self. It's just that fucking simple. Just like you can't love other people if you don't know how to love yourself. Now, there's a lot of reasons why people are in whatever mode of self-hate they're in. Sometimes it could be because of how you were raised. Maybe you weren't raised to believe in yourself or think that you were fucking phenomenal, but you really are. Yes, you are phenomenal. Always remember that. I don't give a fuck what nobody tell you or make you believe. Some people, a lot of the people you trying to impress ain't worth two shits. They don't give a fuck about who they are, and that's the problem. They're projecting their sense of insecurity and inadequacies onto you, and you falling for that shit. Stop drinking the fucking Kool-Aid, because as we know, it's fucking poisonous. I'm just tired of seeing people just do all this superficial shit, and the sad part about it is there was nothing wrong with you in the first place. If we're gonna talk about the superficialness of it, there was nothing wrong with the outer you, but there was obviously something wrong with the inner you, and that's what you need to work on. As much as I love her as a rapper and all this other stuff, Lil' Kim is the poster child for self-hate. I know that she had some issues with her dad. Her dad, I guess, just didn't show her the love that he needed to show her as her father. So she kept on going out with guys that were basically like her dad and would tell her janky shit like they cheated on her because the woman they cheated with looked better than her. Now, of course, she asked the intelligent question, what the fuck you with me for? But she should have kept that going. But apparently that just, all those bad relationships and men leaving her for women that looked nothing like her made her believe that the way she looked was not good enough. And we all know there was nothing wrong with the way Lil' Kim looked. I mean, I remember one time Kid of Kid and Play, when they were talking about Lil' Kim, he was like, can we have the original model back, please? I mean, but it doesn't, it really, at the end of the day, it don't matter whether somebody thinks you're phenomenal or not. If you don't believe you're phenomenal, you gonna end up like Lil' Kim. And there's plenty of Lil' Kims out there, bless their hearts, that are just spiraling out of fucking control. Like, I mean, I remember Lil' Kim when she first started, because I'm old enough to remember her, and I remember her now. It's like, who the fuck is that? And I just hope that her daughter was born with an innate sense of self-love, because she's gonna ask that question, mommy, why you look like this in this picture, but you look like that now? Like, what happened? How did it happen? You know, so hopefully she'll get it together and realize that she was perfect just the way she was. And that's what I hope for all of us. Hopefully those of you that have lost that self-love somewhere in your life for whatever reason, you finally can look in the mirror and say, I'm fucking phenomenal. And I don't give a fuck what the motherfuckers say. Like, hopefully you can do that. Because if you don't, you're gonna be miserable. Like, I can't even imagine what that's like. Now, all of us want to be the best we can be. And I mean, there's something about all of us that we may want to make improvements on, but some of us ain't gonna do that crazy shit that y'all out there doing. Some of y'all, and not only are you hacking up shit, some of y'all are stripping the beautiful melanin from your skin, looking fucking crazy. That is not good. And you know, I really have a problem with some people that will say, oh, she just want to feel good about herself, or if that makes him or her feel good, then, you know, blah blah blah. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You are part of the damn problem. You should have been a friend that told them, honey, don't do that. That ain't worth it. There's nothing wrong with you. That's what you should have been doing instead of saying that other stupid shit you saying. Oh, like, I just want to know, why would you purposely albinize yourself? Yeah, that'll work. I don't think that if a person who had albinism had a choice in whether they would have melanin or not, I'm sure they would have melanin. And I'm not saying that because there's something wrong with the way they look. They're just as beautiful as anybody else. I'm saying that because a lack of melanin is detrimental to their health. That's why I'm saying that. You know, their skin looks like that because of a melanin defect. And you going around with all this beautiful melanin in your skin, and you giving it a fucking way. Like, that's some sad shit. And, excuse me, not only, you know, it's not just us, but just melanated people, period. Like, all these damn skin lightening, bleaching shit got all this toxic shit in it, and you putting it on your skin thinking that's supposed to make you look good, and a lot of times it don't. Sammy Sosa is another one. What the? I don't understand it. I ain't gonna never understand it. The black in me will never understand that shit. But anyway, that's a story for another day. But the bottom line is, those are just examples of how a lack of self-love can take you down a spiral of destruction. And it don't matter what your socio-economic status is, how successful you are. If you don't love you, that ain't gonna do shit. It's plenty of people that were successful and did great things that are now 6 feet in the ground or ashes blown to the wind because they killed themselves because they didn't find anything good about their life. They were completely unhappy. And you know, that was a sad way to go out. You know, it's one thing to die, but it's another to inflict death upon yourself in any way, shape, or form. Same thing with drugs. People taking drugs to try to cope with whatever they're going through, whether it's psychological or just physical. You know, it's all real to them either way. But bottom line is, I said it once and I'll say it again and I'll continue to say it. You have to fight. If you have to fight to love who you are, then damn it, do it. You're worth fighting for, right? And if you don't think so, you need to think so. I'm telling you, you are. How about that? And hopefully you'll take it from there. You know, you may think my opinion matters or not, but I would say you're worth it, and you should believe it as well. So, I love you guys. Have a great life. And until next time, I bid you adieu.